What's good? You already know this is your icon, Dashaun Wesley, and you're watching my show right now. But we now have to take a moment to, child, I gotta start a little section called Legendary Confessions. I really want to tell y'all about my experiences on Legendary, and this is going to be the first episode that we sit and talk about it because, baby, my experience was something else, and I want to tell you all about it. So this is the very first episode of Legendary Confessions, and you're going to hear all about it because, baby, I got 3 years of juice that you need to hear about. I ain't going to tell all the tea. I'm just going to give you a little bit, but this is what it is. Legendary Confessions. Let's get it started. I can tell you from the jump, I've had a great time. I had an awesome time on Legendary. Yes, I was the host of The Situation. We had 3 fabulous, amazing seasons. You know, shout out to the winners, shout out to the houses that did participate, but baby, was she a journey. And I just want to, chat with you about it a little bit. So let's get into full details, okay? And you got any questions and things you want to ask about it, don't be afraid to send it on through because Deshaun have a choice whether he's going to answer or not. I get down. But I want to talk about Legendary for a bit. Good things come to an end sometimes, and sometimes it happens to the best of us. Season 3 has taking its last, kind of like run for Legendary, but HBO Max said, baby, it was time to take this trip and go, baby. So unfortunately, we have been canceled after 3 seasons, but I like to say that we are currently on a vacation, so don't worry about it. We may just be back, but just hold on, we're on vacation. But again, the journey for Legendary for myself has been amazing, and I'm going to start off definitely from the beginning and lead the way into what's happening right now when it comes to Legendary. And hey, Sean, I can tell you off the jump, when I moved out here in California, I'm going to say it was like, my 4th, 5th year in? Yeah, 4th, 5th year in. And, myself, Carlos, Pack Rat, Jamari, we all used to have our Vogue nights out here in Los Angeles, right? And we used to do it once a month, and it was successful at Club Cobra in North Hollywood, and it was really good. And we used to do it every month. So a few times, some people, we used to get randoms coming into our balls. And one day, this one person came up to us and like, okay, we've been coming to your balls for about like 2 months. Excuse me. We've been coming to your balls for about like 2 months. And I really feel like this needs to be a show. And immediately you turn like, chow, you want to do a show too? Okay, well, let's talk. But I will shout out to Scout Productions because they have been coming to our balls in North Hollywood at our Vogue nights. And that kind of was like the spark for our first meeting. Now, I will say, shout out to Papa Trey Basquiat, which is Trey Basquiat, the god daddy of all daddies, the granddaddy, daddy of all daddies, Papa Trey. He was the one that had the initial conversation with someone to bring up the idea of Legendary. And I ain't going to be dropping names like that because I don't want nobody to be getting crazy. But Shant, you know who you are. But he had the initial conversation, so we set up a meeting at Scout. Now, let me let y'all know how Dashaun runs, right? Now, we go there. Y'all know I'm a host. Y'all know I host balls. I've been traveling, teaching classes. I'll talk about my Rihanna, tour life within a bit. When I moved out of Los Angeles, we'll get there. But I guess the Scout production had an idea of who I was. So when they had a meeting, they brought in all the leaders and mothers and fathers that was a part of the ballroom community out in Los Angeles and wanted to sit and have a meeting. It was like, how do we do a show? I remember who was there. It was like me, it was Gia, it was Jamari, it was Michelet, because me and Michelet wasn't in the same house. She was a Saint Laurent. So she was a sister at that point, So we sat that meeting and, everyone's like, oh yeah, we want to put on a show and everything like that. And, everyone's excited, but I was there like this. What kind of show y'all want to put on? I was the nice mean guy. I was like, what show y'all want to put on? How much you want to do? Because, people have been coming with us about putting on a ballroom show for so many years. So when we had this initial meeting, everyone was so like, oh yeah. And I was there like, I don't know, y'all. And then one of the executive producers, like when I sat there and asked a question, they see my answer and everybody turned to me like this. I feel like we got to talk to you. And I was like, well, child, if you want some information, you got the right guy. Okay, it's Dashaun Wesley. I mean, look, I commentate balls. So, and I have my own events. And you guys come to our events, you like it. So I do want to say, again, shout out to Scout because they sat with us week by week, month by month. They was calling everyone to make sure they'll put together a good show. Some people don't know it's really difficult out there to put a show together because you only got an hour to put like 9 to 10 hours of footage together into like one show. So it's really not that easy. So you got to give a little and take a little. Wait, child, I don't sound cute. Don't be thinking crazy. So again, initially, they had a meeting with us. They started bringing us back and over again. I guess the good part about that is they wanted it to be as authentic as possible. I do say I showed them some love because, when something pops up and it didn't fit for the scene, I was like, no, you can't do that. No, Scout, you can't do it. No, because if you do that, I'm going to get the feedback from stuff that's going wrong. And Dashaun don't want no feedback because I don't got no time for reading girls. Well, no, I do got time for reading girls, but I'm just take my time and I'll say I don't want to do this one. But again, everything that they came that they didn't know, they were open to ask. We sat and had meetings and everything. Now, originally for Legendary, although we had our talks and conversations, they wanted me to be on this show as a contestant. So at first I was like, no, I'm gonna be real. I didn't want to take an experience away from people a part of my community who has never even been in a space like this before. I have experienced it before. I've been on America's Best Dance Crew on MTV years ago. Shout out to my team, Vogue Evolution. We was kittens. Now it was much different because that was not a ballroom show. Us ballroom people put ourselves in an environment that was not our own, and we owned it like it was. If you go back and watch those videos, you'll see how Vogue Evolution was doing their thing. But beyond that, what I didn't want to do was take a space away from someone a part of my community who could have went through the same thing and maybe grow from this. So when they asked me to be a contestant, I was like, no, I don't want to be a contestant. And it was like, Dashaun, no, be a contestant. I was like, no, that's not my life. I got things going on. I don't want to be competing on the show because then I go back to what it was like when I was doing America's Best Dance Crew. And baby, yeah, sort of like, when you go through this experience with reality television programs or television shows, like behind the scenes is where it really goes down. You have to stand on schedule. We were dancing every day, dancing every hour. My body was never in so much pain. No, it's been in pain before on tour. But like when it came to that show, week after week, day after day of performing, and I was like, no, I did it. Let somebody else have it. At the same time, I still want to make sure that I give them the right information so we could still have a good, successful show. So again, knowing my place, knowing where I was like, no, I'm not going to take that away from anybody. I will continuously still help, and I'll still continuously give up. And it was like, oh my gosh, no, if you jump in, we'll make sure we do something for you next year. I was like, come on, Dashaun was not born yesterday. You're not going to have me on a show for 1 year, the next year try to say you get, no, I know my worth. And that's sometimes people have to remember what your worth is. Sometimes it's a space, it may sound exciting to be on a show and participate in everything, but you have to know where you stand and where you are. And I know my placement of who I was in this community, in this scene. So I'm going to make sure that you guys have a good show rather than me jumping up on it, to go Vogue on down. But, I stuck to my guns. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I guess it worked out. It worked out. Because they then came to me later on once everything was really put together to now be on there as a host. And I was like, freaking amazing. Excited. So we shot this. Now let's go to season 1 now. Oh, no. Child, they say it was New York City. I got to tell y'all, T was in Stamford, Connecticut, y'all. We wasn't really in New York City. Well, we was. It was like a 45-minute, what was that, Metro North? Is it Metro North? It's one of those trains that took you from New York City to Stamford. We was on it. So season 1, exciting. We get to the place. We get to the venue, which is in Stamford. We shot in the winter. Was it cold? Yes, it was. I remember being in Stamford, and it was snow outside. I moved to Los Angeles, so I don't miss the snow. I don't miss it not one bit. So yes, it was cold. Now, season 1 for me, amazing. I got to meet Jamila. Beautiful. Jamila is so much of a giving lady. I live her. She got jokes on top of jokes. She knows what to say at the right time. And when I had the opportunity to meet Jamila, definitely in our meetings, friggin' awesome. And again, she's funny as hell. I just can't take it. By the way, shout out to Jamila. I do remember doing the podcast as well too. So shout out to Jamila because she sat me there for the first time. And it was on her YouTube podcast. So you kind of ate that. And it was in New York City. So my love. And by the way, she's like my ballroom, my legendary ballroom wife. I call her my ballroom wife. So whenever we got, together, it was on stage, and whenever we got dressed, I was like, what's up, wifey? You good? And she goes, this is my husband. Love me some Jamila. Then I got to Law Roach. Okay, Law Roach. I've met Law like years before. before actually sitting and being on the show with him. When you walk in a room, you are a spectator in the ballroom scene, whether you participate or you don't. You're a spectator. So I've noticed that Law has been around the environment of balls for a very long time. If you ever go back, I know Escalita always ring a bell for us because you know how when you go inside the environment, this is, mind you, we talk about before 2010s, y'all. This is like for 2010s. So like you go to this club called Escalita, which was on like 39th and 8th Avenue where the balls used to happen. I used to see Law there with the fashion girls. See, in the ballroom scene, you know how it is when you go to school, you got the popular kids, you got the dancers, you got the jocks, you got the, in the ballroom scene, we had the good, well-dressed people. Law was up in that mix. You have a house that was full of dressers and everything. He was cool with people who was a part of a house. And I know it was one of his good friends, Ayana, I believe, let me know if I'm wrong, Law. But again, Law was always around that space. He was around the environment. He was there. So when y'all sit there and y'all try to question Law, don't gag when he reads you back because his girlfriends are ballroom. So for him sitting on that panel, freaking amazing. Law Roach, he is ballroom. He knows just about every person in there. And sometimes, shockingly enough, the ballroom people are like, well, who the hell is Law? And they be like, let Law tell you. Oh, he don't have no problem telling you. He have no problem reading it as to and letting you know that he knows. Shockingly enough, he's probably watched a lot of shit probably before the girls who actually are part of it here today. So, Law has been with the shits. He's been with the things, and he's been a part of it. He got girlfriends with it. And don't play with him because he made good TV. Are we lying? Y'all can hate Law all you want to, but baby made good television. Shout out to my sis Law. You did your thing. I'm fucking loving it. And what did he create? You did what needed to be done. Love that about him. So Law loved him on the show. Megan, she was so fun to work with on the show. It's sort of like, she was the cool, like if we lived in the same neighborhood, she was my next girlfriend who like I'll call out to go hang out and go club with or, go kiki with all the time because she was just here with the shits. And again, I have to let people know, now people always questions about like why certain people get the judge and you have to know how much the ballroom scene is intertwined in so many things. I always say the 6 degrees of separation when it comes to someone who we don't know that knows ballroom and someone who's actually in that knows them. So her 6 degrees is really close because her hairstylist, yes, I'm blowing it up. Her hairstylist is ballroom, okay? Her hairstylist is ballroom. I hope you don't kill me after this. I love you, Virgo. But her hairstylist is ballroom. So again, some people have to know that when you are well connected and have somebody who is well in tune to it, as well, you'll be well educated as much as you need because I would ask my friend everything. So again, Megan was cool. I loved how she dressed. Her outfits was really good. She came in on some thug misses. Tina Snow was doing her goddamn thing on that show. And some outfits, I used to be in the back like, damn, Meg, jeez. Outfit look fab, bitch. Where you get that from? Fab. Live for me some Megan. Her, I don't care what people say out there, how they feel about her. Mama said what she said. She felt how she felt. And when something went wrong, don't play with Megan because she'll say it, boo. Oh, she had no problem checking somebody when she needed to. So shout outs to Megan. What more I need to say about my sister Laomi? I mean, we've been through so many things and so many years and so many experiences, definitely when it comes to us with our voguing and even stepping outside of our own comfortability to even educate those out there in America and also outside abroad to let them know where the true form of ballroom comes from. Shout out to my sister. We've been doing this since we was teenagers. By the way, if you don't know, me and Laomi has known each other since we were teenagers. And, oh, geez, I forgot how many years I'm older than her. But, like, child, we was teens. And we started real early. So it's always been, I love how creative my sister was, from us times of being kids at a drop-in center, Hedrick Martin. Oh, my gosh, I forgot that's what we did. We used to go to this drop-in center, HMI, and get our little food on, play a little games. But they used to always give a section to sit there and Vogue. And, that was a time where it was me, Laomi, Prince, Roxy. We was all kids just like voguing down at Hedrick Martin, no Sadè. So me and my sister go way back from us traveling over the world, from us doing America's Best Dance Crew, from us sitting here doing jobs and doing gigs together, to us being on Legendary. And that lady, Laomi, love her. That's a daredevil right there. She take a risk. But her on the show, oh, I love her. I didn't realize somebody had made a video of Naomi, a compilation of her screaming on every episode. If you have not checked that out, I forgot who made the video, but when Naomi got excited, she'll do this thing like, "Ah, ah," and like somebody put a compilation of her screaming. It was a key. Go check it out. Okay, but my sis Naomi, I couldn't ask anyone better to go through this experience with. I always want to shout out people in the background as well, too. I want to shout out to Papa Trey Basquiat. I want to shout out to Jack Gorgeous Gucci, Ms. Rahi, because he was the one who executive produced the right for the show. She's not executive producer. Let me not say the wrong things. Jeez. Produced, and he also written for me. So Jack was writing behind the scenes, and it was me and Jack all the time. It was freaking great. Season 1 for me, y'all. I have to talk about it. No, I have to talk about it. Season 1 was good. Now, here's the thing I know people talked about real quick that was a little bit of a thing, right? So, season 1, I was the host of the show, and my house was a part of the show. Now, then I was a Lanvin, and that's when it was Carlos, Pac Rat, Zay, Michaela, and Erica, and I was a Lanvin. And it makes it real interesting because as I'm the father of this house, and my house is competing against other friends of mine who are different houses, and I love their performances. I know how my kids get down. They had me kept away from them. I was really weren't by the talent, definitely when they were practicing everything. When we had free time out and about, I would see them. But baby, I guess one thing that kind of like, it would always rub me the most is like, when I hear my kids getting feedback. Now they're getting the feedback. I'm sitting there as a host. They're getting feedback. I kept it so neutral, y'all. I kept it neutral. I was not trying to be involved in the mix, not trying to make people at home think that I was trying to fandangle with things. I wasn't doing that. I kept it real cool and neutral. Now, when they was getting sent home, I was getting emotional. When they got into the bottom 2 and was about to fight for their lives, I was like, okay. But again, I still had to remain professional regardless of anything. I know that was my house. I was supporting them. But baby, that was an emotional kind of like feeling to see like my kids crying. And I'm there as the host like, all right, y'all, well, let's go. Let's battle for your lives. As my daughter like, go get my heels. But again, season 1, I was a house father Lanvin during that time, and I enjoyed seeing my house sit and go and do their thing, whether it was good or whether it was bad. The experience that they went through was friggin' awesome. The houses are great. So again, shout out to the Ninjas, shout out to Escadas, the Ebonies, the Balmains during that time. All the houses that was there for season 1, you did your thing. Now, let's talk about a moment that was real unique. Tyson Beckford as a judge, I'm talking about judges right now, cool as hell. I remember before the actual ball or before we started filming and everything, we would be in the back in the VIP area and, every judge got their, own room. I got my own room. I was always next to the guests. So as I was sitting there, Tyson's next door. He comes over. He's like, hey, man, what's up? So you're the host of the show. I'm excited about this. I'm like, is this Tyson Beckford talking to me? Jeez. I had to keep it cute because, it's one very beautiful man. This man is beautiful. And I ain't going to let beauty intimidate me. But, man, that conversation was real unique. I was like, okay, geez. Hey, Tyson, what's up? You don't even look at him. You go, hey, Tyson, what's going on? You all right? All right, you're good? Okay, cool. But he was really cool, had a good time, enjoyed himself. He knew what he was talking about. He was excited about Face. When Erica and Christian, Christian was St. Laurent, Erica Lanvin, they battled for Face and came to the last battle. When I tell you, they battled down. And he was like into it, edge of his seat. Like, Tyson Beckford, great judge. He was awesome. He was really cool. Dominique Jackson. Now, I'm only going to talk about like controversial things. I'm also let you know about like, some judges stuff and good things as well too. Now it's controversial, but baby, that Dominique Jackson for that episode, oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking. If you go and watch the episode, Dominique and Laura gets into it because Laura called the House of Gorgeous Gucci stunning, and Dominique came back and was like, and gave her words, and then they started going back and forth. And I don't think people realize, yes, it takes a long time to film that thing. I got an earpiece in my ear, right? And the producers are watching me behind the scenes on camera. So as they're arguing and fighting this, I have to let people know. I always say it's God in my ear. because as the show was going on, I could be in the middle of a category and here go the producer or the runner, the showrunner. Dashaun, can you and I'd be like, yes, I'll be there like I'll do one of these. Oh my God, that's so Raven. I zoomed out. I was like, oh my gosh. And thank God it's taped because, everything's pre-recorded so I can go fix myself just in case I messed up. But God used to always sit there and talk to me. So when Dominique was going through it with Law in the house, I would say, Dashaun, get us together. Dashaun, grab them together. Grab them together. I was like, okay. It's sort of like double dutch. I need to jump in at the right moment. I don't want to get into anybody nonsense. But one thing I did do, I did check a scene to make sure it continued on, and it went on, okay? So when Dominique, I was like, baby, I love you, but we gotta continue on. Sit down, baby. Can you do it for me? Do it for me. I love me some Dominique. She sat down and we got the things going, but baby, she wasn't having it. Dominique, she was a good judge. And that was real. That was one of those moments of a part of the show where you get the real test of ballroom, because Dominique was like, I don't care what's happening right now. I am ballroom, bitch. Like, these are the things I'm going to do, and you're going to listen to me. Yeah, that was a real stern episode. But we finished it. No Sadè. I do also want to give my shout out to the judges who were on season 1 of Legendary, because I do enjoy everything about it and every experience that we had. So Tyson Beckford, again, awesome. Kelly Osbourne, I forgot to talk about Kelly. She judged for the Ball season 1. She was good. She was cool. She came through. Me and Kelly, she's cool as shit. She's cool as shit. We hung out in Venice a long time ago when we went to this ball out in Venice. It was like the Life Ball. A great, great, great time. I see her in different moments and spaces, and now I had the opportunity to have her sit on a judges panel. Oh, Kelly. She was cool. She was good. So shout out to Kelly Osbourne. Maybe one day you'll come back, darling, when we decide to bring it back. Feel me? Tamar Braxton. My gosh. We have to talk about Tamar. Now, usually when you see the judges come out and I announce them, I give them, quick synopsis of who they are. Tamar Braxton. I thought I was at an actual function when I called her out. She had the fan. She was flipping her hair. She turned to the left. Then she squatted down. Then she came back up and then sat on the panel. Oh, wait. Oh, my God, I brought the fan. She did one of these. She looked and she turned. Then she turned this way. Then she walked down, got up. And just before she got on the judge's table, she did that. And I was like, bitch. Tamar know how to control a fan. I'm a fan guy too, so I like my shit. But baby, when I tell you she did her things. Oh, how we do that? Yes, Tamar, you ate that. Yes, God. Yes. Her judging too. Oh, baby, she had to check one of the house members because she thought some tea was going on. You have to go to these seasons and watch it because she was not playing. And I wish. You guys see everything on television, but if you are there in person, she's a lot. It's so much just to do a show there in person because it's so much that goes on, so many hours. So Miss Tamar, when she came and somebody thought that she was trying it, she was like, boo boo, poo. I love when she did that. She's like, poo, we not doing that. So she checked it. She let everything know was good. She had a great time. Loved her on the show. By the way, the guest judges is awesome because remember, I was sitting right next to them. I said Dominique Jackson. Adam Lambert came through. Fab, he was cool. He had a great time. I still love the platform shoes you had on that day in the outfit. It was white and gold. It was really cute, really cute. Winnie Harlow. Baby, when she came on there, that was one of those episodes of Legendary that was real unique because they had the villains come on that episode. Did y'all like the villains episode on Legendary? I really liked the villains situation. I really tried it to happen for season 2 and 3, but the villains came through and that's when oh gosh, Lolita came through with Honey. And they battled Runway and Performance, and it was it was Lolita and Honey versus Michaela and Pac Rat. And the villains came through. Was that the only category the villains got cashed? Yes, it was. The villains had lost every other one. But for this one, they had the Runway versus Performance. And that's what the famous Get Over Here came from. That's when Lolita was battling Michaela and grabbed her by her cape and brought it back and then started walking with the Bumblebee outfit. And that became such a huge thing on Legendary. And Winnie Harlow was there that night. And oh, baby, it was such a moment because, baby, we even talked about that after it was done, like in the back. After the show was done, we were talking about it. But, oh, that Winnie, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Come on, gal, you know what this is. Come on, Jimmy, connoisseur. All right, and Demi Lovato was on season 1. Awesome. She was cool. She enjoyed herself. She had a great time. And season 1 was friggin' awesome. I will say that battle between Michaela and Shorty, is that the best battle on Legendary so far? We had 3 seasons and, you know, everybody had redemption and they had to go vote for their life. But Michaela, when she jumped in the family and they tossed her, I don't know. She's my daughter, and I don't even know how the hell she comes up with half the shit. But she did the whole tossing thing, and then another episode, she climbed up a wall, and I believe Tamar Braxton called her Spider Bitch. And now everybody calls her Spider Bitch. So, again, season 1 for me, such a good run. It was so new. It was me stepping into a space of hosting a show, definitely a show about ballroom. Now, of course, girls had the things that they want to say about it and how they felt about that shit, but I don't care. It don't matter. When I made sure I was there and make sure things would go fine so we can have a good experience, a good, you know, ball, a good show, that's what was there for. Now, remember, had to give a little in order to get it. So it worked out fine. I think season 1 turned out to be freaking great. So shout out to the House of Balmain and Jamari for winning season 1 of Legendary. Now, heads up, he's not Balmain no more. He started his own house of Mark Jacobs. So shout out to overall father Jamari, Mark Jacobs, who's going to be stopping at my podcast. He need to. We're going to have a problem. Yeah, deliver that message. But shout out to Jamari and the Balmains for winning season 1 of Legendary. They came to be the complete winners of the show, with the Lamvins being runner-up. And also shout out to the Scottas because they was coming through too. Those are Scottas, baby. You know, they like to sneak through and do some things. They was really pushing through, made it to the top 3. So shout out to the Scottas. I can't say what my best performance was because I loved every performance. I'm not going to put anyone or downplays anybody's performance at all. But I had some highlights. So if I was to say any outfit from season 1 that I liked the best, my second outfit, okay, it was made by Landeros, New York. And it was a jacket, right? It was a trench. It was silver. And I had on this cute kind of like little shirt situation. Y'all know I like to show body, darling. Come on. I like to show skin. It was a cute little situation, but then the trench coat flipped into a parachute kind of book bag. If you ever, go look at it. Go take a look at it. I'm going to post it, you know, somewhere on, you know, give it a quick update so you can see it again. But my jacket went from a trench coat to a parachute. And you can watch it on season 1, episode 2. That was one of the best outfits I ever had. I live for it. Now, I live for Intergalactic too, but you know, it's a lot of things. You know, I had on my Alexander McQueen kind of shades, you know, my Saint Laurent jacket and, you know, other things that were made for me. But, you know, I'm still stuck on, you know, my episode 2 being my thing. So Legendary season 1, what a ride. It put me in a complete different space of what it is. I've learned what it is to sit there and be a best host. And I know I was sharing a space with Jamila at that point because I was getting to know everything. By the way, during that time, when Jamila was announced of being on a show and being a judge, the people went crazy. Y'all lost y'all wits. You know, and then at the same time, people have to understand, you know, I've never hosted a television show a day in my damn life. Now, this is my step into it. Yes, I'm a good host. It's my first time stepping into the field. But again, you have someone who is seasoned like a Jamila. And I have to let you guys know, Jamila helped me out tremendously when it came to season 1. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know that she was aware of, and my wifey helped me out. My legendary wifey helped me out. She let me know what was good, what was going on. Child, I've read teleprompters before. But baby, there was about like 3 to 4 teleprompters, but which was really good because y'all would have never known. I was like looking at the shit like, oh, what's going on like that? Oh, what's happening over here? As I was looking, that's what my teleprompters were. So, you know, pretty cool. It was really cool. So shout out to Jamila because she helped me out tremendously. I know we had so much of a big backlash about her hosting with me, but that was one of the best experiences ever because I've learned something along the way and she taught me. And baby, just like y'all go out there and people, was trying to come for her. Oh, babe, I had her back because I was coming for the people too. I was coming for the people. And I had, in any case, Jamila would call me and had any questions. We came to a complete solution to make sure that our show would be successful and go on. So shout out to Jamila for helping me out. And forget about the backlash that people say, because as a host on season 1, she helped me out tremendously. To at season 2 and 3, I started to do it alone. So y'all need to get y'all facts straight. It's that Equifax. Well, again, season 1, awesome, great. Now let's start about the real nitbit. Now I'll go on with everything else. At the end of the last episode, we found out about COVID, and this is where the COVID problems has started for Legendary. When COVID started, the very last episode, they had to get rid of the audience. They had to call everybody out. Now, I don't know what the hell was going on. I haven't seen the news in weeks. So I didn't even know there was a whole, thing going on in the world. But again, one of the talent coordinators came to me and was like, we're not having an audience. And I'm like, we don't have an audience. That's where you get your full vibe from. Like, what's going on? No audience. And it was like, well, this is what's happening. I'm like, okay. Literally, as soon as we shot our last episode, I went home and everything shut down. Oh, that sucked. Now, as I think about it, I was supposed to enjoy the fruits of my labor for, publicly, from doing a big, huge show. The world shut down, y'all. I gagged. No award shows, no things going on. Everything. They didn't even know what virtual was at that very moment. All things were virtual, but that wasn't even the process at the moment. But everything shut down, so I was just like, "Oh shit!" So I'm at home, just gonna enjoy this. Okay, which led it on for season 2. For season 2, because of COVID, we didn't have an audience. And again, if you've been to a ball, if you haven't, we are cooked up by the energy in the room. And majority of the spectators are those who are watching, or maybe performers who are watching as well too. It's the energy. So if you take away the crowd, you don't got the energy of ballroom. It just now feel like, we're just going against each other for the hell of it. But for season 2, we still had to get stuff done. So there was no audience. Of course, our rules were so strict, y'all. I don't think y'all get it, because it was so much going on. Season 2, like, I didn't go out for the time that we were shooting. I didn't go outside. I didn't go to no clubs. I didn't do anything because I didn't want to get COVID, child. If I got COVID, I was probably gonna lose a job. Oh no. Because baby, someone that had COVID, again, they completely shut everything down. If it was any scares, people were getting tested before coming to shows. People couldn't even make it to the show because they got tested and they were positive for COVID. So it was a real big thing for Legendary, which kind of stricted it out to like specific things happening. Again, because there was no audience, we had to do everything from like a quiet standpoint. So it wasn't still bad, because regardless of anything, ballroom still goes. We ain't stopping for nothing. So yeah, we still had the ball. It was a lot of stricted rules. I even had things where I keep me go next to the contestants. Child, I don't want nothing to happen. And I hear the contestants, baby, they said they were locked up in jail, honey. Oh, it's COVID. You can't really do nothing. And then, like, again, when you're on these TV shows, you have runners and wranglers and all these people who got to watch over you to make sure you're okay. And to be honest, because of COVID, couldn't nobody go anywhere. So I know Legendary alumni, if you were in there, please tell everybody what was your experience about it. As I have them come talk on my show, literally tell me their experience of it. I just had Gio on not too long ago, and Packrad and Carlos, and I have some people, and I have some more coming too. But ask them about their experience, because I wasn't there with them. Mine was a little good, but it's still stricken. But, you should ask them, because what I'm hearing, baby, the girls is going through it. But that's the process. When you are on a TV show, definitely competition, reality show, first thing that should be on your mind is practicing every day. So, I mean, maybe that helped them practice more. But season 2, shout out to the houses that was on season 2. Shout out to the judges that was on season 2. Who was the judges that was on season 2? I got to go on that one too. I had a good, season 2 run was great for me. Amazing. Oh yeah, before I go into season 2. One thing I was really proud about. So, when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, I always wanted a billboard. You ever sit there and you want to be in a magazine, you want to be in a movie, you want to be in this. But when I was a kid, I was like, I'm gonna get a billboard. I always want a billboard. I can show you my to-do list too. I still have it. And one of my, I was like, I want to do something, get on the billboard. And shockingly enough, because of Legendary, now I've done something before, but Legendary Child, I asked for too much because I got like 500 billboards. I've seen it at bus stops. I was seen on top of buildings. And I guess when it really hit me the most is when I went, once the show came out, and the billboards started going out and about. I was on the side of the Andaz building was it in Hollywood? That's West Hollywood, right? Is Andaz West Hollywood? The one that's on Sunset? I don't know. It was in one of the woods. But this big, huge 10-story billboard. And mind you, if you drive down, I'm going to say Sunset. If you are on Sunset, you cannot miss the Andaz building that has the big, billboards. It's huge. And I was there. I was on it. Like 10 stories. When people seen it, my friends would call me like, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, girl, I'm proud of me too. Because I never see myself on a building so damn big and a Vogue pose, right? Come on, y'all. Come on. The king has done it again. He's done it again. So yeah, and I was like, when are you ever going to get a billboard of a ballroom person 10 stories high in a Vogue pose? That it was there for like a good month, and I'm passing it by, driving, and people send it to me. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cute. You should go check it out. All right, so I'm hoping that you took away a little bit of information from what I just told you, because baby, I got a lot more stored up in here. So you just got to make sure you catch the next episode of Legendary Confessions as I talk about my experiences on Legendary. Now, some are good, some are fun, some may be shady or interesting, but you got to go check it out. So thank you for watching. This is Dashaun Wesley, and you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. That's what they be saying nowadays, right? Like, comment, subscribe, shit. But also, go to Dashaun.show if you want to catch up on all my episodes of Dashaun No Sadè. All right now.